We're going to be talking with Dale Matthews from badcounty.com on some of what's been going on with Bad County. It appears now that that local government, at least in Josephine County, is trying to preemptively shut up people who are getting up and testifying before them. And I put the video up on KMED.com. Now, I know that there are some people, that Dale is asking too many questions. Quit getting so uppity, you local citizenry. I just love that term, uppity. I really like uppity citizens, I must tell you that when it comes to me. But they were talking about the supplemental budget. Dale will tell you more about this, but I was watching the video, and I posted it on KMED.com. You can take a look at it right now. But and so he ends up mentioning I had this DVD, and of course then Cheryl Walker shuts him down right then, interrupts him, and then they start having this argument about the interruption because they have rules for the public testimony. It must be about the subject, which was the supplemental budget. Of course, it was a DVD of the commissioners talking about the supplemental budget, so it did have to do with this, but they were shutting it down. And then the Daily Courier then starts weighing in and pretty much taking the Josephine County commissioners' point of view, or they just pretty much saying, well, they could have. We think it had something to do with the recall against Cheryl Walker. Well, apparently it had nothing to do with it, but at least we'll talk with Dale about it. It's an interesting video. It's uncut, so I put it up there. Take a look at it, and it looks to me as if they're trying to get the case going to never have Dale Matthews testify again. But I find it very interesting that one of the few people in Josephine County who is truly trying to hold their government accountable, it appears that they're trying to make the case to preemptively shut this guy up. In fact, maybe get to the point where he's causing a disturbance, and so he's never allowed to ask questions again or testify. You can see this coming. You can see this coming, that the bureaucracies don't want to be really asked too many questions. Don't be uppity. You Josephine County citizens, sit down, shut up, and, by the way, vote for the safety levies and raise your taxes. That's pretty much the way I see that playing out. What's going on in Josephine County? Badcounty.com. How you doing there, Dale Matthews?
Well, I'll be okay.
You like the intro this time?
Yeah.
He doesn't say Bad County, but we figured,
Thank you. Close enough. This was a public hearing. There are strict rules about public hearing, according to the state, and people must be allowed to speak, but they must stick to the topic. Mm-hmm. I have no problem sticking to the topic. I know what the rules are, and when they have a public hearing, I usually, because I go to all the commissioners' meetings, I usually know what their objections are. So all I need to do is really simple. If I wanted to, is I could just get up and say, well, I wonder about this. And I've actually had them say, well, that's not worth wondering about. And just the day before, they were wondering about it. I know what they've said.
All right. Do you mind if I share a little bit of this latest video? I have up on my website, too.
Oh, okay? No, please do.
Yeah, this is the one in which basically the county commission there said, we already know what you're going to say, so shut up.
Yes.
And that's effectively what they said. So you go up to the podium here, and then you start talking about a DVD. Anyway, I'll just play it. Here we go. Okay.
Dale Matthews, Grants Pass. There are a number of questions about whether the money for public safety is going to be spent wisely. I'm not questioning whether we need police services. Of course we do. And I want the best that we can get. One of the questions that comes up, however, is this money sometimes being spent too quickly? Or how did we get where we are today? This is a DVD from January.
Mr. Matthews, that's
Don't
not
interrupt
relevant.
Me. I'm testifying
Excuse me,
at
Mr.
open
Matthews.
public hearing.
Mr. Matthews, I asked you to testify about the change. This is a public hearing.
You haven't even heard what I've said. Why are you interrupting me?
Because you're talking about a DVD of something else. You're not talking about this hearing.
I'm talking about a DVD about how the money is being spent by the Sheriff's Department.
No, you're not talking about the changes.
You don't know how to run a public hearing.
Excuse me.
You don't know if this is from yesterday or last year.
Excuse me.
Why should I excuse you? You're
okay, then turn his microphone off.
There you go.
I would prefer not even to recognize him if this is all you want to do. And I would be interested to see what the response of the audience would say. You're going to poll the audience? Sure, why not?
So you're going to poll the audience and what to do with you. Is that the next?
Yes, that's what it suggested was. You can always count on Keith Heck, the comic relief.
Okay, so now here it was. It was a DVD. It did have to do with the subject matter because it was the county commissioners talking about the supplemental budget, their thoughts about this, right?
Exactly right.
Mm-hmm. So how is it that somehow Commissioner Cheryl Walker, the chair, knew that it had nothing, that the DVD you were holding had nothing to do with this, and instead had to do with the recall effort against her, according to that hack piece in the Daily Courier?
It was a hack piece from Jim Moore of the Daily Courier, the not-so-Daily Courier, because it's not daily anymore. It was very interesting. It was like they were ready for something else, and I just started to talk, and then boom, they're all over me. Mm-hmm. When you go to a public hearing and you want to speak about the subject, the commissioner should remain quiet, in my opinion, and let you speak. It's only 3 minutes. And so as soon as I held up a DVD, they went kind of nuts on me. And, well, you can't speak. You're talking about... No, wait a minute. Just let me explain. But they wouldn't let me explain.
Now, if I was a conspiratorial-minded man, I think they're setting you up, Dale. I think they are I think that the Josephine County Commissioner is setting you up for a fall because they don't like the questioning. That is what I'm thinking.
Well, for example, they're going to be on KJO Radio, and they're going to be talking about the wonderful state of our county economy, how well we're doing, why there's hundreds and hundreds, according to Cheryl Walker, of companies that are prosperous in Josephine County. You just can't see them. You just can't see them. So somebody calls in and says, well, I just want everybody to know that the same people that were promoting the levy, the head guy from that, you asked him to be on the budget committee, which this was about, the budget committee, and then he became the chair. You elected him chair. No. That guy was not chair of the budget committee. No, this is really simple. Yes, he was. So why is a county commissioner saying, no, the people are wrong. He was in charge of he wasn't the chair. Yes, he was.
But according to the public record, he was.
Exactly right. And
all
so...
Right.
And all
so what do the Josephine County commissioners just use the media friendliness of that particular area just to?
Absolutely.
Because that sure is what it looks
anywhere.
like.
There wouldn't be any need for something like badcounty.com. You know, we're well over 100,000 views now. There wouldn't be any need for it if we actually had a newspaper in this town, Grants Pass.
So what do you think? Why is this so important then about the DVD? Because some people would say, well, that is just I'm surprised you just didn't interrupt them quickly and say this is about the subject. This is about the. Well, I guess you did say that, and then they shut you down again.
Yeah, well, because when I see something like the commissioner saying, "Oh no, he never was chair," well, maybe it's the Emperor's New Clothes story for me. I say, wait a minute, yes, he was. Well, where's everybody else? Okay, I'm not going to blame anybody in the audience, but I mean, what I'm trying to say is, if you hear them saying something that's completely, blatantly wrong, is it okay to stand up? I don't mean frothing at the mouth, running around the room, yelling, whoop, whoop. I don't mean that.
You weren't yelling. I'm looking here at the video. You were very polite, but you were standing your ground here. My question is, under what rules can they ban you from the meetings? Because something tells me that you are one of the few people actually reporting on what's going on with the Josephine County Commission. So obviously they're not happy with you. Cheryl Walker has gone after you over the stupid video camera, on a lap at some point.
It's dangerous,
They're obviously trying to silence you and shut you up or get you out of this. So
here's their tactic.
All right.
Here it is. If they say outrageous things, she invited a bunch of people, a bunch of her supporters, to come and heckle me, and they only talk to me when I'm at the podium. You ought to sit down. You ought to grow up. You ought to be quiet, this kind of stuff. And there's no rules apparently about heckling somebody. Yes, there are. They enforce them all the time. I mean, I just say, oh. And you ought to be quiet. All I said was, oh. But, they're actually addressing me. This guy shouldn't be allowed to talk and this kind of stuff. They're trying to get me so that I start gnawing on the furniture. And as soon as I do that, or if I yell, or I call them a name, which I would never do, but Keith Heck does it to citizens all the time, especially to me, calling you really bad names, okay?
What did he call you that one time?
Well, let's see. The treasurer called me a slimy bastard. Keith Heck called me a lying maggot.
Uh-huh.
Because I had referred to a tape of him saying these exact words, and I said, these are the exact words that you said. They were on the tape. No, I never did. You're a lying maggot.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, I'm not. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to get me to react the same way that they do, because as soon as I do that, as soon as I really raise my voice...
Then they can throw you out of the meetings or ban you from testifying.
Because I'm rude. And so that's why at the end of this, when you watch the video, they described this later on as I was super rude or really out of line. That I was. No, I wasn't. I was as calm as anyone could be that's being interrupted.
Take a look at the video. It's on KMED.com. I have it on the blog post. You can also find more of these over on badcounty.com.
You
but
can.
I consider this very concerning because it appears that there is an actual, I don't want to say conspiracy, but there is certainly an agenda there to try to get you to the point where you react in some way so that they have the authority, as it is.
Yes, how's that working out for him so far? I just don't overreact to these things, that's all.
Well, I'm glad you're doing better than I would in the same situation, really. And I appreciate you continuing to film them or video them, as the case been, and put the information up there. The people need to be able to hear what's going on with their elected leaders.
With over 500 videos of nothing but the county commissioners. And it's almost all of it serious. Every once in a while they say something goofy, but mostly it's just them being serious and saying outrageous things. And over 500 videos of that, and now 103,000 views. I would submit that that's more than the video on demand from all of the media in our entire southern Oregon.